We're going to try this again. I deleted those first two, so we'll see what happens. Before I put this on the stand, these are the Faber-Castell Polychromos. They're oil-based. These are the Luminance by Caran d'Ache, and they are wax-based. The reviews on both of these is excellent. So I splurged, and somewhere in this house is a set of Prismacolor that I cannot find. Haven't been able to find in a while. I have drawn a face here, and what? Oh, by the way, I'm Vicki. Better late than never, huh? What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw half of the face in Polychromos, and I'm going to draw half of it in Luminance. And let me see if I'm coming up yet on the iPad. There it is. Ah, we loaded. Okay. So I'm going to put this on its stand and try not to hit the power button. Or the volume. Turn it. Let me bring y'all down just a little. See if that helps. Alrighty. Now we're through diddling. Diddle diddle. Cow and the fiddle. And since I've got my iPad working over here and my phone up here, I normally work from the screen. But this is a Pixabay copyright-free picture and bad poor print on inkjet. I've got to get some toner for our laser printer because that's what I'm used to using. Alright, I have a green. And does anybody want to know why I have a green? Because skin tone is very warm. And it has red in it. And that means if you put green underneath it, you will get a complementary to the red, and the, the green will cool it down wherever it is, and it will help that face contour into a rounded shape rather than a flat two-dimensional shape. So that's why I use a little bit of green first. So this is obviously going to be Polychromos side, and I probably better put a P and an L. I have the same color green, or close enough to it. This piece of this page that I have is part of the architectures line on the journal. This ledger page is the page, and then this on top is a deli print, a jelly print on deli paper. I'll get it right in a minute. And I glued it in the book, and we're just going to do this face right on top of it because I think that looks cool. Okay. We're going to bring that on down here. Y'all may get bored. I may get bored. Very light touch. Oh, 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 oh. Be interesting to see how long it takes me to screw this up. My method of working in oil is that you very roughly block in, over halfway, very roughly block in your drawing or your features, and you go, you know, 4 or 5 different levels or layers. I'll get it right. Look at me, I just did it. Okay, halfway mark. Okay, green. Anywhere I've got a form that's turning away from the light. The light on her is coming from about right here. You can tell because of the highlight in her eyes. So everything on this side of a curve is going to be shaded. Does that make sense? Everything in the shadow or curving into the shadow is going to get some green. Oh, back to what I was saying. Have I just screwed up again? Yep. No, Faber-Castell is here. Nope. Yep. Polychromos. And then I labeled it wrong. That's alright, I'm just going to leave it. Okay. The solid color pencil is on the left, Vicki, and this one is on the right. I love these challenges that I set for myself. Now, let's go back to what I was saying. The first round on an oil painting, you just establish your shapes. And the second round of an oil painting, you refine your drawing. And you refine your drawing all the way through. But doing something like this or doing watercolor is harder because it's harder to refine your drawing at will. So you have to be a little more careful from the get-go. So far, these seem just a little bit softer than what I'm used to. Thought about this long and hard because I bought a whole bunch of student grade pencils and they work okay. But they don't let you layer very much. Okay, so we've got that. We've got the little bit of the nose coming down. We've got some shadow coming in here. We've got shadow under the lip. and the whole ear over here is in shadow. So her head is tilted just a little bit. So I'm going to come down straight. There's the nose and there's the mouth. So that part of it is correct. So I'm going to measure from the top of that eye, from the top of that ear, about right there. Make sure I'm lined up the way her eyes are, and her ear is right here. This was one of the hardest things I ever had to learn. And I need to go ahead and, not with that one, with this one. Go ahead and draw that ear in. And then double check it. It needs to come down a little bit. Ordinarily, if you're looking straight on with a model like this, at the top of the eye is where the top of the ear is, where it attaches, not the shape of the ear, but where it attaches, and the bottom is where is lined up with the bottom of the nose. And because she's on a tilt, her ear on the photograph is just a little bit below where this mouth is. And the top of it is right about halfway on her nose. So we're real close. Okay. So finish up this ear. And honestly, I could have done without the green, because there's so much green everywhere else. Okay, so now switch pencils. There you go. And we've got some eyeshadow, which is curving. The eye's also a ball, so remember that. And both of these really have a nice feel. Where else do I need? Nope. We've got shadow in here. And we've got a little bit of shadow where that lip turns in. And a little bit of shadow in here. The mouth is 3 balls. There's one here, and one here. And so her mouth will come down just a little bit. So I'm going to shade that ball, I'm going to shade that ball, and I shade that ball. Okay? This ear it's just barely showing. This picture is not showing me much. It's overblown. Now I've got shadow under the nose. And I know that she's got some right here. double check my drawing. So there's an eye, and the nose is an eye width. 2 eyes from the brow bone to the bottom of the nose is where the nose ends. So we're good. So far so good. I also know that this ball, this eye right here, is going to turn back into shadow. Not as much as over here. This one is the darkest spot on a face. Right there where the eye curves in and the nose is going down. That's what you'll see. Okay, they do the same over here. We've got some hair coming down. You will also have a little bit of cool right under that brow bone, because the brow bone curves in and then the nose comes out. So you'll have a little shadow right in here. And on the forehead, I'm going to put some in up around that hairline. And I may come back and put some in the hair. I like hair with, blonde hair with some green. It makes it a little richer. Okay, where else? We need some, I thought I put some under there. Under the eye. Not so much as over here. Ah! Y'all watch me. Yep, yep. Okay, we've got this is why I don't like full frontal faces. It's because you lose the shadow contouring. But it's a free picture, so what you can do. You'll have just a little bit of dark in there where that dimple goes back in. And on her thing right here, I don't think it's called fellatio, but the goozle thingy in between your lips, it goes down and back up. So this would get the light and this would get the dark, and then light coming back up and then dark coming back down. Does that make sense? Gotta look. Whoops, wrong one. I'm gonna get this down. I'm gonna add just a little green in here for the nose, the side of the nose. Not much because it will make up the shading as I go along. This is the way that I work in pastels. I'm going to leave those out because I may need them again. The next thing I'm going to do is yellow ochre. E. And of course all the labeling is not in a good language. Brown ochre. Raw sienna. Yellow ochre. That might be it. Brown ochre. Light brown ochre. Okay, so this is our yellow ochre on Luminance. And that's over here. And now we're going to find yellow ochre over here. Excuse me for burping in your ear. Light yellow ochre. Ooh, there's a big difference there. Naples ochre. Naples yellow. I guess we'll go with this. Okay. Now I'm going to cover everything that isn't a highlight, including the green, with this yellow ochre. I'm not paying a whole lot of attention to the directions because I know there's going to be a whole lot of editing. This is my skin tone. She's going to have a highlight right in there. I'm going to cover it in anyway. It's a very light coat, so it's not going to hurt anything. I'm trying to use the sides of them so I don't want them to get all flat, needing sharpened. Is everybody bored yet? Okay, switch pencils, I remembered. I'm trying to do here is just get down some color. It's turned out to be a pretty doggone good piece of deli to put this on too, because it's got the same colors, flesh tones in it. Of course, I knew that. Not trying to hide anything, I just want to do a layer. Whoop, halfway. I'm hoping I've got enough tooth on this paper. Let's see, we need the Luminance. We need this on her ear. Now we may have to come back in with those, but now the next color is a Cad Red Light. Permanent Red. Cornelian. Scarlet. I'll tell you, I think that this one's going to be my best bet. Oh wait, no. There's a whole tray of reds. That one doesn't have anything written on it. Oh, these come in this right here. Deep Scarlet. Deep Red. Some of these are not pigment colors. Scarlet Red. Permanent Carmine. Alrighty, I'm going to go right in here with a warm red. It's called Scarlet Red. I just chunked out some colors. That is, oh crap. Sorry. At least it wasn't the F-bomb. I can just hear my mother. Vicki. All right. Okay, here. Go back over to this box. Okay, so that is my best red right here. And the, let's see if we can get one just a hair, oops, hold on. See if we can get one just a hair darker. Not a direct match. We knew we weren't going to get that, didn't we? That's their scarlet. Permanent red. So I'm going to put the permanent red back. I'm going with scarlet on both of them. So that one's over here. Whew, I almost lost it there. Alright, now I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm going to cover the whole thing with this red. Now what this does is it creates an optical illusion. And by the way I'm scribbling, I'm getting all three colors to show at once. And the red and the yellow ochre plus white is a good flesh tone. I do not use a cool color like blue on my faces for shadows, because to me it makes them look like they need to shave, and that's not very sexy on a girl. See that face tone starting to come out? Or skin tone? And cover the mouth. Oops, halfway. This is fun. It's been a while since I've worked in colored pencil. And I never really knew what I was doing. I just jumped in and did it. Whoop, halfway. Go over the lips. And halfway into it's as bad as watching paint dry, isn't it? Alright, switch reds. Texture of the paper will allow all the colors and some of the jelly printing to show through. I don't think anybody caught up with me today. I mean, I gave you all of 5 minutes notice. Come on. And I need to just add this color into the eyes. There's yellow ochre. And yellow ochre. And my reddish color. and my reddish color. Eyes are not white, they are really kind of a flesh color. I'm going to now go back in with my darker brown, and I'm going to restate a little bit around that nose, because I don't want to lose it. This is just restating those darks. Where's our eyebrow? There's one, so it should be, there it is. Our brows are pretty much straight over the brow bone until the brow bone tilts back into the hairline or to the edge of the face. So you got to watch where that arch is. So it's kind of straight and then it drops off. And the same over here. I wanted to get this down before I lost it. Where am I? Okay, now I'm check. I'm gonna have to stand up. The eyes have to be on a straight line, and they are. Nose is still straight, mouth is still straight. What we have a tendency to do is we'll take a tilt of a head, and the eyes may work out fine, and then gradually the nose, and by the time you get down to the mouth, it's straight. And that's a big problem with some of us. I've had that problem too. But until you've got a few miles on you, you don't know those things. I have covered miles of canvas. Ah. Okay, went a little bit right there. I drew those eyes, didn't I? Well, we're just going to go back over them. I used to stand up all the time. I need to do more of it since my watch tells me to get up off my butt. Okay, we have restated that. I'm going to put in the dark where the ears are. See, she's got some hair coming down over this one. There's not much showing over here. And this one, she's got shadow in there, which is just kind of a boomerang shape. And then you've got the ear canal, and it comes around that little pokey outy thing that some people get pierced. And then she's got some hair coming down here. You can tell I'm sitting down again. I lost you. There we go, back up. Okay, and I'm going to use a don't dump them again, please. A very light ochre. This has to be almost a brownish color. Playing with the paper. Okay, stay. Doesn't matter how many you have. So I'm going to use ivory. Ivory in Polychromos. And try to find the same thing in Luminance. Primos? They're close. Naples ochre. I'm going to use that one. Nah. I'm going to use the Naples ochre. And this is my white creamy. I'm going to start building the areas that will be highlighted. So this side is this one. Okay. So now we're going to find those cheekbones. And there's a baby boy. This side has a lot of white because of the light where it's coming from. Yeah, I hear you. I have to tend to Bitty Boy here. Alright, I will be right back. This is fun. At some point, we're going to have to burnish. But I don't know when that point is. Okay, Rembrandt lighting. You sit your model into a dark room, and the only light is coming in on her through the window. This particular model is not sitting in Rembrandt lighting, but I'm going to pretend. Oh. So it just makes a little triangular mark on that side of her face. The chin will have a little bit, we're losing the light over here. Just a little. And there'll be some right here because the jowl goes back into the light. So your chin curves and then it comes back out. So you're going to have a little bit right there. And you're going to have it right here. Whoops. I went all the way down, but it doesn't matter. Oh, quit it. Same with the cheek. The mouth curves down and the cheek comes back up. So we would pick up a little bit of light in here. And right in there, the mouth curves down, the cheek comes out. Let's work on some eyes. How about it? I want a smoky blue. Helio turquoise. Gray blue. Close. Phthalo blue. That's going to have a little bit of green in it. You're not ever going to match these perfect. This is called Cobalt Blue, Middle Cobalt. Ooh. So we're going to go with these. Let's see, that's the darker color. I'm going to come in here with my darker color. And I could have left that room for that highlight, but I didn't. Damn it. Cover over the iris and pull that down. Now that smoky blue will also cover the top part of the white eyeball. Very lightly. Okay, switching over here. I'm trusting that the whites are good, and if they're not, I can always do a white gel pen. And that really needs a darker blue. Not that dark. Okay, we'll stick with what we've got. Now need a gray blue, a lighter gray blue. Okay, and that is this area right in here. And switch back to my darker blue. I'm going in strokes around this way, like around the spokes. I'll get it in a minute. Light blue. And now my darker blue coming back. Now I need a black. Methinks that's dark purple. Dark indigo. Aha. I want the blackest black I can get. Schwartz black. I guess it's as good as mine. Nope. Castle Earth, nope. Black. Black. Alright, this goes over here. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, you don't want it to be. And this one over here. I always like to have the black part of the eye go up into the eyelid and center it as best you can. Okay, there's that. Now let's take let's use our cream color. I want the dot in the eye to be seen but not heard. Now on this side of the eye, the light's coming from here, remember. The iris of the eye is ball shape, okay? The light's gonna hit and go under or in the middle of that eye. So it's going to hit, whoop, wrong pencil. It's going to hit hard right there where that highlight is. And then it's going to lighten and it's going to show up on the other side of the eye. Got that? I think I really kind of screwed that one up, but it is fixable. Now I need my darker blues. And I'm going to brighten some of the white of the eye. The whole thing doesn't get white. Now it just gets the lighter color where the light hits. And again, you don't want a hard line. It could be better organized, huh? Yeah. I like the white of the sparkle to be part on, in this case, the blue and part on the black. Don't forget your shadow up above or under the eyelid. And bring that on down if you want. Yeah. No, I gotta go let the baby in. Hang on. False alarm, he has a girlfriend next door. Go back to my black. I'm going to go ahead and use a white. This is this one. The Crondosh art white is supposed to be one of the best on the market. A little white pen won't hurt that either. Oh wait, I used the wrong one. This is the one that's supposed to be so awesome. Alright, set out. Let's go to our reds. Now this is the way I work in pastels, guys. Really, I kind of work this way in oils too. Watercolors is a little bit more challenging. I want to give her some red lips. And she's got some teeth. I better leave room for them. About like that. Yeah, no, I did both of them. I'm coloring the whole lip, and then I can come back and darken it. With paintbrush or whatever, try to make your lines go, because the lip has those vertical lines in it, so I'm kind of trying to stay vertical. Okay, that gives her a little life. This is the blender that came with the Luminance, and of course I tried to sharpen it. The first thing I did was break it, and I don't have one in the other brands, but I'm going to work on these eyes just a minute. Kind of lightning. So I'm going to use this one on both. Hey Michelle, hey, you're from Ireland. I love me a good Ireland. Okay, I'm going to go back now with my golds, my light ochres. Michelle, I am doing one side of this face with Polychromos by Faber-Castell, and I'm doing the other half of the face with Caran d'Ache Luminance. Just to see what the differences are other than color formulation. Excuse me. I didn't let anybody know I was doing this, so can't complain when people find you later, huh? And if you're watching this on YouTube later, you'll know that this is a recording. Well, not right now, but lighter as I get lighter on the face. A little darker on the sides where it turns back. And again, for those of you who may have joined late, this is the Architectures, one of the Architectures journals from Canvas Corp brands, and I love it. I'm putting it through its paces with different media. And this is a gel press print. Thank you. Her source picture came from Pixabay. Those are royalty free. If I'm going to do something that I'm going to sell or enter in a competition, I always use my own source photos. But this experiment wasn't about source photos, and it wasn't about drawing. I know I can draw, and I know I can take my own pictures. So this was to test color, so you do whatever you have to do to get into that mode the quickest. I've been using an app called Camera Lucida on my iPhone, and it really works well for tracing the basic sizes and shapes of stuff. I don't think I know anybody from Ireland, Michelle. I know someone from Scotland really well. She's a fantastic artist. Her name is Margaret Evans. Okay, now I'm going to come back with my reds. All I'm doing with these, the red and yellow, ochre and white, is just building up some layers. And if it stops taking color, then I will have to blend. But see where that green is? It's still a rich color, but it doesn't look like a dead shadow. Does that make sense? Blues in that situation just make them look sick. You might get away with it on a man, but I don't like it on my girls. Ooh, look at that skin tone. I'm just very lightly scumbling over because I don't want to cover up everything that's in it. I mean, everything that's under it. Now I hear that baby boy. I think I said already he's got a girlfriend next door. Looking for stuff he can't have. Okay, that does it. Well, I need to come down in here. Nose is warm, which means it can have pretty good dose of this red I'm using. It's a warm red. I need to do some more work over here. I can look at this up close and I can still see the green that I started with. Very light, I'm hardly putting any pressure at all. And I'm really not interested in covering up everything in the background. This kind of makes it look like a fresco. I'm not paying any attention to my directions, and I'm letting the texture of the paper do the work. I don't want my work to look like a photograph. I want it to have my hand in it, and the best way to do that is to make marks. And the other thing is that from a distance, say if you had something in a gallery, from a distance or across the room, what people see first are the values, the darkness and lightness of it. And then as they draw closer, they begin to see color better, and a little bit closer until they're finally up on it, and that's when they see the juxtaposition of all the marks, the layers, and the nuance. For example, in oil paint, you get up close enough and you're going to see the brush strokes or the impasto. And now I'm going to work a little bit on that nose. It needs it. Let's get our dark browns out again. The nose hole is not solid black. It's just solid black in the area that leads back up into the nose. So you'll have little folds, and so that's going to be my darkest dark on that nose. I am going to add some shadow back. Again, very lightly. And I've got some shadow coming in right here. Now I need a good rust color. Burnt sienna is good. I think this is too red, but it'll be okay. Kaput mortem. I'm just going to use that. So here I'm going to shade just a little bitty bit around that nose, and right up under here. And this one, this is just a darker flesh tint back up in here, and there's, whoops, and there's not so much on this one because the way her head is turned. And now I hear the boy. I'll be right back again. Back to the red. You see what I'm doing? I'm just building back and forth, back and forth. Want some red up in that. Now from here to here, my left, the way I'm seeing it, the left cheek has turned back into the shadow. So I could use just a little more green right in here to tone that red down. Not much, just a little. And then this is coming back up, so it gets a little more light. And it peaks right at the top of that mouth. See? And on this side, come down the same way, but the shadow is on this side because that's the side that's curving away. It's going back into the shadow. And this side. Now the nose is casting a shadow. Cast shadows are hard. Whoop, wrong one. Form shadows are soft. Form meaning as it turns to make the form. See, these are soft. There's no real hard line. But a cast shadow can be harder. And the cheek is going to come out from that area. So it's going to be a little bit brighter right there. And I need some light right in here. And I need light right in here. And right in here. Now do the same thing on the other side. We have a real strong light hitting the top of this nose. Hey BJ, it's all pencil, and what I'm doing is I splurged and got a set of Caran d'Ache Luminance, and a set, I know, I just really was bad, and a set of Polychromos. One is oil base and the other is wax base. And so I'm doing one half of the face in the Polychromos and one half of the face in the Luminance. I have not blended yet. My surface is the Architecture's Journal from Canvas Corp and a gel press print on top of it. I have just used, without the eyes, I've used a light yellow ochre. I've used a kind of a burnt sienna color. I've used a dark brown. I've used something similar to cad red light. And I started with the green, which you can see later. And that's all I've used. I'm just layering, going every which direction, because I want all of those colors to shine through to give this some real personality, hopefully. Where are you in Oklahoma, BJ? I think we've probably talked about that before. Well, you're not too far away from me. I'm 2 hours from Tulsa in northwest Arkansas, Bentonville. You'll have to plan a day trip sometime and come over to Canvas Corp. I don't know if you know of Shannon Green or not, but she lives here now, actually in Farmington, but moved here from Texas, and she's doing classes and workshops at Canvas Corp. Yeah, it is a small world. I was so excited when she moved here So we meet every Tuesday. One Tuesday is in the afternoon, and the next Tuesday will be in the morning, and we meet for 3 hours, and it's just kind of a freestyle. And she's teaming up with Rosemary Morris, who lives in Fort Smith, and they're doing some actual workshops. Rosemary is the queen of trash. So the workshop that they're giving, a full day Saturday workshop, is going to be at Rosemary's studio in Fort Smith, and we're going to be making junk journal from trash and paint chips. And I think that's on September 19th. I'm getting some good skin tones now, ladies. Got too much of a dark line right there. Hey now. Hi, princess. I'm going to go back to my rusty colors. And this one, that's where that mouth goes back in. Very lightly right there, because that goes like that. And let's give her a dimple. Okay, where are you? Okay, so I want to do a little bit of white right here. And a little bit of green. Because the dimple's going to curve in and then curve back out. And a little bit of red. A little bit of yellow ochre. This is Polychromos. This is oil-based. And I don't know. I don't work for them, so I don't know exactly what that means. Both of these brands are, well, your wax-based pencils will get a bloom. Yeah, it's okay. Side-eyed, side-eyed. I need to go back. See, I end up holding them in my hand. I need to gold up. I need that gold and that red. Gosh, BJ, that was a long time ago. But those were fun too, and I was just using something I found at the thrift store. Did you see the ones I did in watercolor when I was recovering from my surgeries? I did a whole bunch of watercolors, and I called them Ladies of Color. And I just used, well, I got into a rut where I just used Daniel Smith's Moon Glow. I fell in love with that paint. I think I just posted pictures of them on Facebook. I didn't do any videos. Whoops. I'm trying to keep my pencil brand separate. And I think I'm going to have to blend. Go back to the red. BJ, you might go to my website. It's VickyRossArt.com, and follow the link to my Fine Art America gallery, and I think the ones on wallpaper might be there. Well, you email me or text me or whatever, and if you don't find them, I'll make sure you get them, one way or the other. I'm softening that just a little. You don't want it to look like she's got a medical problem. I need another red. Need a darker. Reds are hard. The rust color might work for her mouth. Remember the balls. Light hits there. The upper lip is mostly in shadow, so you can be a little healthier with your lip. Healthier with your, I forgot what I was going to say. I've gotten all wrapped up in what I'm doing here. Okay, some more red. This is the red you're supposed to use over here. Need my lights back. A little bit of shadow right under there, and then the light will catch the edge of that lip and oil painting. You just take it and flick it and get that lip to disappear. And I have too much dark right here. I'm gonna lighten this one up too. Boy, did I get it too dark. Okay, I'm going to blend a little bit now and see if I can make it get some more color. Take some more color. So I need my yellow ochre and my red. Very light. That's better. So I need to do the same on the other side. That's a form shadow, so it's going to be softer. I'm not sure that dimple is working, but we're going to leave it for now. Sometimes it's just a little something. Yes, they're Faber-Castell. BJ, this is a technique that I use in soft pastels, and the more layers you have shining through, the prettier your skin tone will be. Because when you look at this up close, if you zoom in on it when you can, you can see the greens, the ochres, and the reds all playing And that gives it a real pretty look. And I'm not an expert at colored pencil by any stretch of the imagination. But that's the way I was trained, so I will do it that way. Nothing wrong with using local color, but your skin tones will be a lot prettier. A lot more fresh. If I knew what I was doing, I'd be dangerous. Well, the chat's going now. Let's see if I can get where I can read it. In the Crondash are the Luminance. Well, that kind of looks like a dimple in the video, maybe. Make sure I haven't missed anything. Looks like I'm good. Now we need to do a little bit of work on the shadows. We need to darken these, and I'm using the this is Caput Mortum, and it is a pigment color. And it's kind of like raw sienna or burnt sienna, but it has a little touch of red in it. We're looking pretty good over here. Whoops, wrong side. Put a little red dot right there. Little red dot right there. Now I'll get my dark browns. I'm gonna quit when I get tired. This area right here is the darkest you'll have on a face. Where that eye socket turns, it's in the socket. And while I'm here, I'm going to darken these eyebrows a little bit. I'm making my strokes go the direction that the hairs would. I'm going to give her a little more eyebrow than she had. Just sketchy. I'll give this a little bit more dark. And the eyes are bugging me. Get my blues back. And my blacks. I am not beyond using something white. I'd be ever so much happier if I could get this to, well, there it is, it's writing. This is Pigment Ink what is this? The Uniball Signo. Now I've been putting white down. Now it won't mark. Well, alright, let's try. That's a Stabilo watercolor. Here's a General's charcoal. Not so much. What else have I got in my bag of tricks? This is a Stabilo. If I don't like that, I will get a pastel pencil. Okay, the dark blue. I don't want my black to be overpowering. Don't forget about your shadows under the eyelid. And some lighter blue. Better, better, better. And the lighter blue. I need some of that darker blue right around the edge. She's looking pretty good. Yeah, I did the rose in this book. I don't know if I showed it. I didn't film it. I'll show you in a minute. I've been doing a little neatening up in my studio. I can't get to my pastels, so I'm going to use a little bit of white gouache. Gouache is heavy body acrylic, heavy body watercolor. I'll get it in a minute. I've fallen in love with these calligraphy brushes. They're natural hair. I got them at Hobby Lobby. They're not expensive, but look at that point. There we go. That's all it needed. Hi, darling. That's all it takes to make that eye just pop. Well, come on, get over there. Yeah, those little sparkles come to life. You know what? I need to put some right here, because that's where the wet will sparkle back in the eye. Little tricks. I probably need to be looking at this straight on instead of down. I do my real painting straight up. I am close to done with this part of it. And I'm still basically just using red, yellow, and green, not counting the eyes. And this little mouth comes up a little bit. I'm sorry I used the wrong one, but that's okay. I have sure got her big old irises. Big old. Let's see what we can do about that. May not be able to do anything. This is the blender that came with the with the Caran d'Ache. I'm going to blend just a little bit in there, and now come back with my whitish color. And just blur those baby blues. That helps a little. Yeah, that helps. That one's still wonky. I'm always willing to share my tricks, BJ. I found a long time ago that the craft market people were a whole lot more sharing than the fine art people. There, that's better. And I just covered up my little white mark, but that can come back. Now, with the darker one, put a little bit of that back in. And the interesting thing to me is so many of the tools of the trade I've learned are applicable no matter what medium you're in. That's better. Let's see what time it is. 6:41. I said I was only going to do this for a little bit. You know, I think I'm going to call it quits tonight. And, ooh, boy, that mark right there I don't like. It's too heavy. I just looked at the... And that one is too, so we're just going to blend them down. Yeah, no, that's the wrong pencil. But I want to come back and do her hair and work on her ears a little bit. Alright, here's where I started from. And you can see that she doesn't have any form to her face. This is just totally flat. So what I've done, well, she's got a whole lot more color in her face. And somehow I want to bring in some more white or some more light to lighten up this. But overall, I've got a really nice skin tone. It just needs more form. And I haven't got it yet because my pencils don't want to play with me. Let's see if I've got the white one. This white with Caran d'Ache Luminance. Luminance is supposed to be one of the best whites on the market. So we'll just give it a little test. And it is covering. You could just keep doing this all day, just keep layering. Much better. Some of the reviews and the demos I saw on these two pencils is that even if you have both sets, that this white one is far superior. BJ, I'm going to stop here so you won't miss it much. You'll want to catch what you missed in the beginning. I'm going to come back tomorrow and do the hair and finish up, because I am tired, and when I get tired I start taking shortcuts. That's better. Better. Doesn't look like it on there, but it's better. Alright guys, I'm leaving it here. Thanks for joining me. I can't help myself. Alright, that's it. I got her too white now. But she doesn't look bad. And I still can see hints of the paper, the painted paper underneath her. And when she gets some hair, she's going to be drop dead gorgeous. I got to work on the lip. I got to work on the whole thing. So, over and out, you guys. And I'm going to try to get back here tomorrow. Oh, I don't know. BJ, remind me to show you the rose in this book. I'm out. See ya.